Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Commissioners Court. I've got a few minutes after, so I call this meeting to order. As usual, we will begin with an invocation followed by the pledges. Dear Lord, I come to you this morning and thank you for the chance to be back in Commissioners Court. We thank you for the long weekend over Labor Day. Thank you for the many blessings upon this community. I ask for your guidance in all the decisions before us today and the week ahead. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, a few things on my notes here as we enter into citizens communication. Some of you may also heard the word this morning of the passing of Commissioner David Hall in Calhoun County, right next door. A very tragic and unexpected loss. Commissioner Hall was friends with most of us and had been a longtime commissioner in Calhoun County, 54 years old. So let us stand and have a moment of silence as we remember and honor Commissioner Hall in Calhoun County. Thank you all. Yeah, like I mentioned, that was just early this morning, late last night. As we get word of services, we'll let that be known, but a very, very sad loss, and our condolences certainly go out to his family and the folks there in Port Lavaca.
Yes.
Another item on my notes here is our posting deadline change, which is a difficult adjustment we're going to have to make. The new law, I guess it was HB 1522, that requires a much longer duration of the agenda being posted before the meeting occurs. It appears, as I know I was magistrating for Judge Whitaker last week, so I wasn't here, but y'all had some discussions about the implication of that. It appears that the agenda for every week's meeting will have to go out the Tuesday before the Monday meeting, which is a big adjustment for us. At least that's what we're being told is how this law applies. There's really not certain definitions. So to be on the safe side this month, and especially with an upcoming budget hearing and then budget adoption and CO issue, we will proceed with a Tuesday agenda posting. So, for example, this coming Monday the 8th, the agenda for that will need to go out today. I know Madison has sent out some information and correspondence. This will take a good bit of adjusting too, both for our office and then for everybody in the county. So if there is an item that you need on Monday's agenda, we need that by 2 o'clock today, Madison? Okay, 2 o'clock today. And then for the meeting on the 15th, that following week, we'll need that on Tuesday the 9th, also by 2 o'clock. And it could be that we'll need it even earlier than that going forward to give us time to get it on the agenda. Again, this is a big adjustment, not a positive one, but one that we will have to adhere to. I know we have a department head meeting coming up next week. That's going to be part of our discussion. We'll solicit y'all's feedback on the best way to adapt to this new requirement. Certainly we won't be as nimble as we were before. It will impede the efficiency and the benefit of having a weekly meeting, but at this time we do plan to continue having weekly meetings and adhering to the Tuesday deadline. Let me see here. Speaking of deadlines and next week, we have our budget hearing, the public hearing, this coming Monday on the 8th. We've posted notice of that in the paper like we're required to. The budget, of course, isn't finalized until it's finalized, which will be on the 29th. But we'll have an open hearing on the 8th for any citizen who wishes to speak on or to our budget. Everything in there is subject to change prior to the 29th, but that hearing will occur on the 8th. Although I don't think it was technically required since we're adopting the no new revenue rate, but it's our custom to have a hearing, so we're going to have one on Monday. Okay, those are the three things I had on my notes here. Other items in citizens' communication this morning. Yes, sir, come on up.
Hello, I'm Will Jost. I reside at 117 Lane Street, Victoria, Texas,
Welcome.
77904. I just wanted to come and introduce myself to the court. I am a sales representative with Shoppers Farm Supply. I have 14 years of experience in the equipment industry, so I can make recommendations on equipment to facilitate y'all's needs. And
Okay.
I've got cards that I can give y'all after court's dismissed, and if y'all have anything, please feel free to reach out to me.
Great.
Very good, we
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks. Other comments this morning? Robin?
Come on up, Rob.
Oh, here's the good news.
I hope.
Yay.
I hope.
I come bearing good news.
Hey.
Yay.
So after a lot of patience, dedication, hard work, some frustration, we have been notified that we are moving to the contract phase with our MITMOD application. So not quite sure what the timeline is on that. I'll try to get a little bit more information for you guys, but just a quick note that contract phase happens, we accept the award. After we receive it, then the engineers are going to do the rest of the planning, and they will develop bid packets after you've approved the planning, and we'll go out for bid, and that should probably, if we're on the same timeline as we were before, sometime early next year.
Okay.
Very good.
So,
It's better than the news we've been receiving for quite a while, so thank you.
yes, so different direction, fingers crossed that we keep going that direction.
Very
Thank
good.
you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
Mark, good morning.
Mark Slow.
Morning.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. I just wanted to come up, I've got Officer Lorena Keefe here. She's one of our animal control officers.
Welcome.
She's the one that spent 2
She's
years
in
working in Bloomington.
Yeah, she was in Bloomington.
We've since moved her. She's now a kind of a rove fill-in senior officer type position. But I just want to give you guys an update. One of my quests in animal services is to bring us up to a higher level of professionalism. Excuse me. So Lorena and Joe Hernandez, he's in court right now doing interpretation for somebody that speaks Spanish. But anyway, both of them last week went to a mental health first aid training that's offered specifically for animal control officers nationally. At that training, they were the only ones in Texas that went to it. It's online training. But anyway, this is important because a lot of the people we deal with, like in hoarding situations or medical and emergency situations, are quite often having a mental issue. So this gives them a few more tools in recognizing those needs and also helping understand how better to talk to those people. Quite a few of the officers are stationed in the same place all the time, so they get to know people. We just had one last week where Lorena had dealt with her enough that when she wasn't responding to us, we knew there's something else going on, so we called in the Sheriff's Department to do a welfare check. But this just gives another tool to our officers to better address the mental health needs of those people we're dealing with and to know when to call for a higher level of care. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. This was a fairly lengthy 10-hour training. Thank you for the emergency RICS group. They gave us a room to use, but they both got a certificate. This is good for 3 years. And as I know from the people I've talked to, we're one of only a few in the state that have sent people to this training. So I just wanted to, they're dedicated officers that really want to be better. So.
Well, congratulations, Officer Keith, and well done. That's certainly a valuable training there, and we applaud you for taking that step and being proactive. Well,
that
that's
worthy of a picture?
awesome to hear. Yes, let us do get a
That
picture.
is worthy of a picture, yeah.
Anybody who goes through a 10-hour training online deserves, yeah,
I guess,
let's stand down here.
yeah, let's stand now.
Well done, good work. All right, let's go. How do you want to stand? Just like that. All right, citizens' communication continues. Good
Continues.
morning, Lenny.
Good morning, Judge. Good
Morning, Lenny.
Commissioners. How are you, sir?
All right.
Just to give you a quick update, everything is as planned to reopen the runway on Friday at noon. Or turn flight, the mid-flight, will be arriving from Houston that day and then returning back to Houston and then coming back for the night flight. And after that, we will operate as usual. I was there yesterday checking that everything was done over the weekend. That there was a couple of things on Friday afternoon that needed to be completed. The runway and the taxiway are all linked up together at this point. There's a couple of lights that need to be added between today and tomorrow. The painting crew is coming today. Possibilities of painting later this afternoon or later tomorrow in the morning. They just need to do a couple of markings on the runway to get the runway reopened. Possibilities are that we could reopen the runway before Friday, but as of right now, it'll be Friday at noon. On the parking lot, this morning, we waited until today to waiting for people to come pick up the cars. We have 5 that were
Wow.
left there.
Wow.
2 cars were actually put in the parking lot after the parking lot was closed. They have Arizona plates, so we have moved all those vehicles. And the project will start today with breaking the ground. They put the silt fences and move a few things. The parking stops were moved last Friday, but today they will start turning the dirt in there, and that project is underway. Obviously, that project is 90 days, but Tax with Charlie project is supposed to be completed by the end of October. In conversations with the contractor, they would like to be gone at the end of October with the parking lots and everything. So we're hoping that by the end of October, everything is done and we can move back to normal. Just a quick clarification. We reopened the runway, the taxiway that we're in the middle of construction. That portion will not be reopened until it's completely painted because there's a lot of markings that go with it, some signs. But the runway will be operational just as good as we operated before we closed it. So airline operations back to normal Friday.
Lenny, just
Yes,
a
sir.
quick question. Have we already submitted for our last go-around for the terminal grant, or are we still?
That NOFO is not out yet.
Not yet,
So
okay.
I'm still waiting. As soon as it comes out, and I'm praying that comes out before I go on vacation in October. Because with my luck, I'll be in the middle of vacation and the NOFO comes out.
That's
so,
the way things normally happen to me.
Yeah, so I've been told June, July, August, now we're September. So I'm hoping that it comes during this month, and we'll put for that as soon as it comes out.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Lenny.
Thank you, Lenny.
And one final thing, it wasn't on my list, but I see him here. Rick McBrayer was part of a panel at the Texas Association of Counties Legislative Conference last week, and did an exceptional job. I got lots of good feedback on that.
Oh, he had him doing the wave. It was crazy. It was just,
It almost got to that level of awesomeness. So
I know, it's
appreciate you doing that, Rick.
Good job, Rick.
Good feedback. Anything up here before we move on?
Yes, Judge. I have some items, or an item. Last week in San Antonio, the Texas Association of Floodplain Managers met at their technical conference. Avery attended that conference and also sat for the Certified Floodplain Managers test and certification. He is now a nationally certified floodplain manager. So congratulate David.
Man. Floodplain.
Well done. Do we have a certificate or plaque? If you bring one next week, we'll take a picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right, we'll be waiting. Congratulations,
Congrats.
Avery. Good work.
I'd also like to mention that on next week's court agenda, there's a public hearing also posted for Precinct 3 traffic sign changes. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention as well.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. All right, anything else before we move on? All right, then we will go to item number 4, which is to consider approval of minutes and take appropriate action. Each of you have a copy of those in front of you.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 5, consider approval of accounts payable and take appropriate action.
Accounts payable for September 2nd, 2025 are $826,331.57. Supplemental payments are $263,917.33.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thanks, Michelle. Item 6 is to receive monthly and quarterly reports from various county officials and departments and take appropriate action.
Good morning. Today we have monthly reports from the county judge and county commissioners precincts numbers 1 through 4.
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 7, consider approval of bond forfeiture releases and take appropriate action.
We have none this morning.
Very good. Thank you, Heidi. We'll then go to number 8, and that is to consider approval of Citizens Medical Center interim vendor payments and take appropriate action. There it is. We have the August 7th memo from our hospital showing interim vendor payments in the amount of $189,662.22. The ACH report on that same date of August 7th was in the amount of $3,607,978.64.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 9 is to consider approval of Resolution 2025-074 for the receipt of financial assistance valued at $2.5 million from the Texas Department of Transportation, as referenced in Senate Bill 1 rider for the engineering and design of the Victoria Regional Airport Terminal Building Project, and take appropriate action. Hello again, Lenny.
Yes, sir. This particular resolution is the step number 1 to get those $2.5 million that I asked Senator Colmore as a rider. So that money, it's approved by the state legislature and eventually gets routed to TxDOT Aviation. TxDOT Aviation in turn makes this into a 90-10 grant, which is and the amount of $2.77 million. That includes the 10%. The resolution is a requirement, and this resolution, as soon as you guys sign it, I will send it to TxDOT Aviation, and they would put it on the Transportation Commission meeting later this month. So step number 1. Number 2, most likely next week, I will bring the contract for the design. And then once that's approved, later in September, the grant will become available for drawdowns. This will be a reimbursement grant. TxDOT has been very nice as far as this grant. They want hands off, and all they want is for us to send them the invoices, and they do the reimbursements. But that's where we are. If you have any questions, be glad to.
A couple quick questions, Lenny. So I guess given that everything over the 2.5 is 100% on us rather than 10%, what is our likelihood of being able to keep that within the 2.5 million?
We're probably going to have that 10%, Judge. Probably a few dollars less, a few dollars more, because what TxDOT, just as the FAA does, they would only reimburse us up to the $2.5 million. So the contract, if the contract ends up being more than more than $2.5 million, which right now in the negotiations is about 2.7 and change. So that money will be needed because we would only recover 90% of that,
Up to 2.5
up to 2.5.
and 0% beyond 2.5.
So most likely, at this point, TxDOT will give us every single bit of those 2.5. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and when will we know, you say we'll have the contract that shows the exact amount of the project
You
when?
probably know this afternoon, by 2 o'clock, before 2 o'clock, we'll be sending that to Madison to be put in the agenda for your approval next week.
Okay, so we haven't gotten it yet?
I have it.
Oh, we have it?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
I got it Friday, I'm reviewing.
Okay, and the amount is 2.7
It's
million?
2.7 and change, I think a little slightly below what the grant is.
Oh, okay, so I guess my question would have been, or would be, do we have the ability to sharpen the pencil on that to get it lower?
I did. I've been renegotiating with them. I think it was at some point $2.8 million, we're
Okay.
at 2.7.
So that's probably as good as it gets, what we're
Correct.
looking at
And
here.
I did my due diligence by
Okay.
getting an independent fee estimate on the independent.
Okay,
fee
so what the
estimate's higher.
court would need to be aware of is that if these numbers hold, it would be, 250, so that, what is that, 527,000? That would be our local
No,
portion?
your local will be 177.
But, no, 277,
Yeah,
277, sorry.
277,000, Judge.
yeah.
Maybe I'm confused, plus the full amount over 2.5 million.
So what it said, what the grant says, and this is pretty much TxDOT language. Anything above the 2.5 would be 100% on the county, so.
Understood.
Yeah.
And
What about the
2.77 is,
Is the total. That includes the 2.5 plus the 10%. And so, a lot of people would think that 10% of 2.5 is $250,000. The way they do the math is they divide the total of the grant by 0.90. So if you divide 2.5 by 0.90, it gives you $277,700 as the match of the county.
okay.
what-
Maybe I'm just
No,
a little slow. We pay 10% up to 2.5 million, and then 100% beyond 2.5 million.
No, 100% beyond 2.7. Okay, you're
Yeah.
right. From their expenditure.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're looking for close to,
So would it be true to say we pay 10% up to 2.5 million, and any amount in excess of 2.5 is 100% on us?
Correct.
So
The
it'd be
contract is below the 2.77 at this point.
Okay.
So you,
So if the amount is 2.77 million, what would be that total amount to us locally?
277, 277,000.
for that part of it, but not the 10% that's already included in the existing 2.5, correct?
The 2.5 standalone TxDOT, the 277 hours together, they add them together because they consider the total amount that the 10% plus the 2.5. And then, so when we do the drawdowns to TxDOT, once we hit $2.5 million, that's it. So we only recover 90%. and
Yeah, I understand up until the 2.5, but it's the overage that I guess is confusing me. However,
I understand it the same way you do, Judge.
See, me too.
It is confusing, because that's 277, 10%, and then, but everything over 2.5
2.5 is ours.
is 100%.
Right.
So really it should be 10% of 2.5, and then the 277,000 plus, so it should be 250,000 plus 277,000, the way I'm
is
reading
that
it.
not right?
No,
You're
because.
looking close to 5.
Because TxDOT
that's
has-
how it's
TxDOT
reading.
has 2.5 million, this is exactly the verbiage that TxDOT sent me.
Okay,
Okay, so TxDOT has $2.5 million to give.
Okay.
And that's it. All right, so anything over, what, they came up with this language a few years ago because of change orders and all of that in the projects. And then they got to a point in which, because TxDOT doesn't have as much money as the FAA, so they got to a point in which they said, we're gonna give you this amount of money, and anything above that, it will be at 100%. If you want it, it'll be at 100% on the municipality, right? So that's what they're trying to clarify. We got $2.5 million for you. If the project costs a lot more than that, well, we'll give you up to 2.5. So let's say that this project will be $3 million. Well, whatever it is above the 90 plus the 10, it's our responsibility.
That makes sense, which,
It's still, it adds up, it works. It's the wording.
okay.
It's the wording. When
This
he's
is
saying the
this is pretty
10%,
much what the
we would
FAA
owe
Okay. Well, no,
$277,000.
I hope I'm wrong in that, okay, we can roll 277 is better than.
277 is going to be the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense in the wording though at all.
I will make sure.
Can
you
that be
guys don't
rewritten
pay-
or something?
Well, the record will reflect max local contribution of
$277,000.
$278,000.
Yeah,
We'll
278.
take it.
27777, yes.
Okay,
But you can round it up to 278, but yeah.
okay.
The record needs to reflect.
All right, well, thank you for that, Lenny.
Believe me, Judge, we don't want to leave a single dime of Texas money on the table, so we'll recover every bit of those 2.5.
I know you always do. Thank you for that, Lenny.
Thank you.
I may have been the only one.
That was it.
Any other questions on that?
After you brought that up, that
Yeah.
did start a little confusing.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we will roll with it. Do we have a motion to
So moved.
approve item 9?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Judge, can somewhere in there it say a 277 cap by the county or something, or, I know we moved to approve it, or you're just gonna let the records
Well,
stand?
if it goes anywhere above 277, I would have to come to you guys and request that.
Okay.
So that will be a change order at that point.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
10-4.
All right, item number 10, also an airport item, that is to consider approval of the following change orders from Centurion Planning and Design LLC in regard to the Victoria Regional Airport Taxiway Charlie Relocation Project, VCT 2301D, and take appropriate action. 1, change order number 004, and B, change order number 005.
Okay, so these, as opposed as the project before, these are on a 90-10. Any change order under this project will be covered under 90% federal, 10% local match. From the beginning, as we went into this process, in this project, we knew that we will not know the cost, and sorry, I jumped off. I'm on 005, actually. We knew that the cost of AEP was not included in the price because we did not know how much that would be when we went to bids. So the AEP cost to connect all the electrical power to the new vault that controls all the electrical for the runways and taxiways was $44,814. So the feds will cover 90% of that, will cover 10%. That's there is no project that goes without a change order, especially at the size of these particular projects. And change order 004 was as they were started working on the taxiway, there was an area where an electrical line was actually not buried to its standards. It was between 10 and 12 inches. Usually it's about 18 inches, and in some places up to 24 inches. So that line was actually cut. There were some expenditures to the contractor in the amount of about $9,392.46. Then again, that would be 90% federal, 10% local match. At this point, we don't have to come up with any of the money. At the end of the project, we would do all the math, we would do all the consolidation of all the bills, and chances are there is enough money in the project because some of the quantities probably were not all spent, and there'll be money available to pay for all of these as part of the project anyway. Your 10% is already there. So this needs to be approved at this point and signed, and we will do all the consolidation math and all of that at the end of the project when we do the closeout of the grant.
Very good. Any questions or discussion on this item? All right, do we have a motion to approve 10, 1, and 2?
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Lenny.
gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lenny.
All right, we are going to pass on number 11. Number 12 is to receive fully executed intergovernmental agreement between Victoria County and Victoria County Drainage District Number 2 in regard to the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation Method of Distribution Program and take appropriate action. Hello again, Robin.
Hi, just receiving that fully executed copy that you guys already approved for the agreement, MITMOD Precinct 1 project related.
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 13, consider approval of fiscal year 2026 Victim Coordinator and Liaison Grant Contract Number C-02349 for the Victoria County Sheriff's Office and take appropriate action.
So we have been awarded for a contract for this year. This is a 2-year cycle. It is a state-funded position. They do not pay the full salary and benefits package for the position, but it does contribute a large portion of that. So we have Jennifer here. She is our victim liaison at the Sheriff's Office and
Good morning.
does all of the required mandated work in that position for
Okay.
them.
So you're recommending voting yes on this, right?
100?
All right, we'll do it. Okay, well, thank you for that, Robin. I know this is a grant we've long depended on and been a big help, so do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Robin, and thank you for all you do, Jennifer. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, wait, we're not done with you,
wait,
Robin.
Robin's still here. Order
Should
pizza.
have known. Item 14, consider approval of a request for payment to Lynn Engineering in the amount of $5,625 in connection with the Texas Community Development Block Grant Award, grant number CDB 23-0328, and take appropriate action.
So this is for work on the sewer improvements with the water district in Bloomington. Just required engineering for that project.
Have they been reimbursing as
Yes.
scheduled or, okay,
They have to reimburse us up front now.
Huh?
that's right.
Yeah.
Because of that issue, okay. Okay, good. All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thanks, Robin. Item 15 is to consider the following in connection to the North Side Road Reconstruction Project in Precinct 2 and take appropriate action. A, receive a fully executed interlocal agreement between the City of Victoria and Victoria County. B, receive fully executed agreement between Clark Construction of Texas and Victoria County. And C, reject all other bids submitted for invitation for bids 2025-13.
Judge and Commissioners, we have an executed contract with the city, interlocal agreement to pay their portion of the North Side Road improvements in the city limits. We also have the fully executed agreement with Clark Construction, and we recommend that you reject all other bids associated with this project.
I do believe they're scheduled to start on the 8th, correct?
That's our pre-construction meeting, that's what
Yeah.
they discussed. And it's going to be a pretty short time frame, depending on the weather, obviously.
Yeah. I do thank you guys for all your help. I know it's a big undertaking, but thank you. Move to approve A, B, and C.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved on 15A through C. Item 16, consider approval of a plat exemption request from Gary Smith on FM 447 located in Precinct 2 and take appropriate action.
Judge and Commissioners, at your dais is the fully executed plat exemption application. Friday, Mr. Reinhardt came in and signed that, so you have hard copies of that plat exemption request. Mr. Reinhardt is receiving about 8.41 acres from Mr. Smith out of his 26.52 acres. They are adjacent property owners, so they'll be adjusting their property lines by deed. Mr. Reinhardt also has a existing access easement from that tract back to the 447 right-of-way. We recommend you authorize this plat exemption with the conditions that are identified in that form.
Move
That
for
was my
approval.
question.
Oh.
An easement right away.
Yes, sir, if you,
I moved to approve.
Second.
Okay, he took the motion away from you.
I took it away. You can have it back. I'll second.
Power flag. All right.
I'm sorry, that's precinct 2.
However, the clerk wants to record that. We had a motion and a second from someone. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. We'll all need a signature on that resolution. Item 17 is to receive for the record the following executed agreements in regard to the county health plan and take appropriate action. A, Boone Chapman Administrative Services Agreement, and B, Saris Plan Sponsor Agreement. Good morning, Gianni.
Good morning, Judge,
Morning, Guy.
Commissioners. You guys may recall, we approved the renewal in November of 2024, received the actual services agreement in February, and then by the time it went back and forth between attorneys, you guys approved it in June of this year. So this is just the final fully executed on both sides. This agreement just takes us through the end of this year. As you guys are aware, we're in the process of evaluating the proposals submitted for the 2026 plan year.
Cool.
Move to receive.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 18 is to consider fiscal year 2026 budget reclassification requests and receive for the record updated title and grades and take appropriate action.
This item is consistent with our process, like budget process. So this year during budget, we received 11 different reclassification requests. 5 of those is what you guys approved to be put in the 2026 budget and have been built into this. That does include 3 positions that were reclassified, 1 in juvenile, 1 in the health department, 2 in the health department. So 4 positions reclassified, 2 in the health department, 1 in juvenile, and 1 in the Office of Emergency Management. It also includes the creation of the Road and Bridge Manager position, which adds an additional position to each of your precincts.
So this will be our template to use until this time next year, correct? As
Yes.
far as- Okay, all right.
Yep. This will be the most current. I am working on also sorting it by department, and I'll be sending department heads their individual department positions as well.
Okay, so of the 11 requests during that process this summer, 5 were approved, and those are incorporated
In here.
into this,
That's correct.
which includes all the title and grades.
That's correct.
Okay,
All right.
very good. Are there any questions related to that or discussion on this item?
Can these be put into a file
Yeah,
and emailed to us?
I would like that.
Yep.
Be
I
very
would
helpful.
appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 19, receive for the record the fully executed Nationwide Financial Services, Inc. Government 457B Plan Adoption Agreement and take appropriate action.
Again, this was in relation to the new IRS rules for catch-up contributions
Okay.
for individuals over 145,000. So just fully executed. You guys approved it last week.
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 20.
Never
is
mind.
to-
I'll just take this.
What do we have here?
She's got it printed out.
Cool.
Is this for the probation?
This is for the probation.
Okay, and that is item 20. Consider approval
Oh,
of the
oh, I'm sorry. This isn't what I asked.
2025-26 juvenile probation salary order and take appropriate action.
Yeah, just some small corrections that were missed, employee numbers, there was a percentage calculation error. So changes from what's in the packet are in blue, anything in red was already done in the packet.
Okay, so there were no substantive changes between what we have in the draft budget and what's represented here?
Yeah, just clerical, administrative.
Okay.
cleanup.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Gianni,
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
your work on all of those items.
I want this other thing printed out.
Item 21 is to consider approval of the proposed 2026 Victoria County Sheriff and Constable fees and take appropriate action. Let's see, Heidi, I wasn't here last week, but I think there was discussion on this.
Yes, sir. We had asked for it to be moved to today from last week because there was some new statutes put into play in regards to constables and their duty to, it was a squatter's eviction type of a deal, and they wanted to make sure that there was not any additional fees that they wanted to tack on, but they are going to go with just what has already been recommended by the sheriff's office for changes for next year.
Gotcha, okay. Very good, thank you. Heidi, do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 22, consider approval of the revised proposal Q-01887 with CoFile Technologies for the Victoria County Clerk's Office ongoing restoration and archival of historic records project and take appropriate action.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Hello again.
This was what was discussed in the public hearing last week on the co-file where we are consolidating some of the payments, bringing them forward. It does not change the payment amounts. It does speed up the work process though, so it's just minor changes. We've worked through all of the numbers with Michelle Sanford. I'm very thankful for her help with this. And I request your approval to this change.
Move for approval.
Second. Thank y'all.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Heidi. Item 23 is to receive for the record the Texas Lawyers Insurance Exchange Judges Professional Liability Policy in lieu of a bond for the Victoria County Courts at Law under Texas Government Code 25.0006 and take appropriate action. As I understand it, Chris, well, I guess if you could briefly summarize that. I know there's lots of technicalities there, which I'm not fully aware of.
At the risk of making a long story tedious, Judge, Commissioners, this is another one of those changes impacting local government that came out of the regular legislative session. Texas Government Code, Section 25, was amended such that statutory county judges who heard probate cases now had to have a much higher bond, up to $500,000. There were exceptions to this. One of the exceptions was if those judges carried external insurance, which our two county court at law judges do through the Texas Lawyers Insurance Exchange, that's an exemption to having to have that bond. I visited back and forth with the folks at TLIE. I also talked to TAC Legal, who just basically said, make sure there are certain things in the policy. Those things were in the policy. I worked with Judge Gillum on this. He has been very helpful on this issue and in helping save the county some money. So in the opinion of TAC and also in TLIE, judges are fully covered. This is just receiving this policy. And I want to give a shout out to Heidi. We started looking back in minutes and looking and looking and looking to see if these policies had ever been received at any point. Wow. And you fellows know that I'm a big fan of having things on the record and in minutes. So these are just to receive those policies in lieu of having to fork over for a $500,000 bond for each of our county court at law judges.
Sure.
Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you for your work, and Heidi as well,
Thank you.
making sure that we are in keeping with the new law.
Move to receive.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Well, I guess should say. All those in favor of receiving, which is
Aye.
what we're doing.
Aye.
Yeah. And then any opposed? That item passes. All right,
you.
thank you again, Chris. Item 24 is to receive a letter of permission to enter the private property of Tenajero, did I say that right? Rodrigo, located at 942 Old Goliad Road, Victoria, Texas, for the purpose of conducting drainage improvements in Precinct 3, and take appropriate action.
Move to receive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 25, receive a letter of permission to enter the private property of Mark Kuba, located at 88 Glenwood Drive, Inez 77968, for the purpose of conducting drainage improvements in Precinct 4.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 26, discuss upcoming CO bond issue, eligible projects and dollar amounts, and take appropriate action. This is a very timely item because, as you all are aware, we will be issuing a CO on September 29th for both the hospital and for the county. The amount for the hospital will be right at 14.9 million. The amount previously discussed, or I should say discussed in our last project workshop for the county side of things, was 10 million. However, as you'll all recall, going through those projects, they came to a total of over $10 million. I think closer to, John, I don't know if you recall the exact number, but it exceeded the 10 million. But also, as y'all will recall, in the notice of intent, we put a much higher amount to give us the flexibility to issue additional dollars if we needed to. So the decision before us, and a change that I think we should make, would be to increase that 10 million to a higher amount to cover more of these project needs that we have on our running list. And I should have printed it out and have it in front of me, but John, well, in Avery too, I think Chris was talking to you about this. This has been an ongoing discussion about what will make the cut in the next CO tranche, our next round of projects, both the future phases of our existing projects, then additional needs. Where do we stand roughly on that? I know that's kind of hard to answer because some of our discussions were tentative, but I have a number in my head. I want to make sure I'm on the right page.
Judges, we worked through this list with the court and identified priorities and identified approximate costs. I think my last memory was like 15, 16 million would be, we're still working with the auditor's office on the 23 bond issue and what has been applied to that and what we have still remaining on those projects that were approved for the 2023, and moving into the additional projects for 2025 and covering the rest of the projects that you previously approved in 2023. That's being reconciled with the auditor's office and our records. They were working through that last week, and we still don't have a clarification of that.
Okay. The number in my mind was a bit less than that as far as what we might increase this to. And again, basically the decision here is, given the list of projects that we worked through, what would be the most prudent, the ideal amount to issue? We were running our numbers and calculations at 10 million. Certainly, the project list is larger than 10 million. Given that we did have a drawdown of our fund balance, or have a planned drawdown this coming year, I would be reluctant to have any additional overruns into the fund balance. So if the amount that we want to complete in the new CO issue is more than 10 million, I would think we need to issue more than 10 million. Avery, what?
Yes, sir. And Judge, I just wanted to add for the record, so that $15 million number that John had mentioned included the $3 million for the 311 Constitution remodels.
Okay.
And so with that removed, we're sitting somewhere around 12. But just to also add to that, we are looking at further refining those estimates, as many of them were kind of broad and without a defined scope of work. So now that we have the priority list from the court, we plan to go back, revise those estimates, and we'll likely be sitting somewhere around that 12 million, or possibly slightly less.
Okay.
Avery, when you say you'll go back and prioritize those, will those have some dollar estimates on them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, for all high and medium identified priority projects from our previous discussions, those will have defined cost estimates with scopes of work, roughly pointing to how we came up with those estimates.
And even at that point, we may end up cutting some of those.
That's correct. It would be up to the
Yeah,
court.
it just,
As well as if there were any identified low priority projects that we say, hey, it makes sense to go ahead and tackle these upon further evaluation, we could choose to do that in the future.
Okay. Yeah, what it boils down to is that, yeah, that list, we'll set the priorities of that. It can expand or it can contract. We can put stuff on, take stuff off. I would think, though, that a big priority is that we not anticipate a further drawdown of our fund balance. As you're aware, we're already planning for next year to draw down by 2 million unassociated with these projects. And we have the ability to access additional dollars. For comparison, if the amount were to go, well, an additional $4 million, 4.7%, 20 years, it'd be about a $310,000 debt service. Of course, less than that would also be less than that. 3 million would be about $235,000 debt service. There is some forecasting that would go into our anticipation to be able to absorb that next year, but I think we would be able to a number of reasons, for a number of reasons. So I guess what we need consensus on is just ballpark what number we tell our bond people to proceed with, because they need to iron out the notices they're going to do, the paperwork, all of that. Chris, I know we've talked about this. What were we leaning towards on this?
We were leaning towards somewhere between 14 and 15 million. The last sort of semi-solid figure that I have in notes is 14 and a half.
Okay. Okay. Based on that last list, of course, that last list did include the 311, which is ineligible for CO-funded activities.
Yes.
Okay. So how would that influence this? We don't plan to draw down fund balance by $3 million for that.
No.
Okay. Okay.
We haven't really discussed a plan for that, Judge, without having that money.
But wasn't the 311 work going to be for county offices, not rent?
Well,
The actual building itself takes rent, though.
It doesn't matter?
The issue, as I understand it, from our discussion with Chris and as part of our previous discussion, was that there was a history of private tenancy, and due to the requirements of those CO bond expenditures, we have a history of established private tenant use. In the future, it could have private tenant use, even though right now it is intended only for government offices, that it basically would disqualify that building. This does not preclude at this time, I believe, and Chris, you may correct me if I'm wrong, the LTRG space for the records retention is a separate structure, and so we're including that.
Okay, so
Correct.
is the LTRG space included in the 3 million, or is that already?
No, that's separate. Yes,
That's separated out,
Yep,
okay.
That was
okay.
just for the HVAC, mechanical equipment, and then office remodel for the 311 building proper.
Okay, okay. In the prior project planning exercise we did for all these, the sliding door
Yeah.
upgrades, did we include that, or did we strike that?
That was included, I believe.
It's currently included in the 2023 bond.
Right.
Y'all approved it back in March.
Uh-huh.
But depending on what is left encumbered for that, it could be pushed to the 2026 bond.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that we did that as a priority item, because for the public.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess at this point, although it could probably still, we could update it somewhat, we would want our best guess or what we intend on issuing. Again, we ran numbers at 10 million on the conservative side, but have maintained the ability to go higher than that if that's what we need. It's apparent to me we will prioritize projects in excess of 10 million. So the question would be, how much over that amount would we want to go?
Yeah.
Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? What we don't want to do is get the deal sealed on the 29th and then realize that there's future phases that we want to do that aren't going to be done.
When can we expect to see that prioritized list with the
Well-
cost associated with each one of those projects?
Gonna have to be sooner than later.
Well, we've got that list,
We've got
although
it.
it changes every time we look at it because we establish what those priorities are.
Yeah, but a lot of them didn't have a cost associated with them.
Yeah.
So if you recall, some of those that we didn't have the cost associated with were from a more speculative scope of work. And then with the definition of priority that y'all had given us prior to last week, we will then narrow that down and have that cost estimate available. So part of that is, from John and I going back and looking at it, collaborating with Kelly and other responsible parties to refine those costs. But I think part of the deadline and how quickly you need it is at what point it's required by the bond
So
attorneys.
Avery, I guess the question for Commissioner Martin and myself is, how soon can you get that for us?
How soon do you need it?
Sooner than later.
Okay.
Okay, so can we wait till Monday, sounds like is the question.
Mhm.
Chris, do you recall?
Yes, I think we're fine on Monday.
Okay. So we can have that exercise on Monday.
Okay.
Basically, it would be a repeat of what we did last time, this time with likely or hopefully more definitive numbers.
Right.
And
Correct.
then- Okay.
It really
Well,
will need to be Monday. The questionnaire is due back to our bond friends on the 10th, which
Okay.
is the Wednesday.
Okay, so that should work.
Okay.
Sarah, you're here Monday, right? Okay, all right.
That's good to know.
All right, well then we'll make sure to have this on the agenda Monday and we'll have a definitive number there. I think plugging in that number's probably easier than what we think it's gonna be. I know how these things trend, but we'll plan to do that then, Monday discussion,
Sounds good. Yes, sir. We'll be prepared.
which will need to be on the agenda that goes out today. We'll get it done. All right, thank you, Avery. Thank
Yes, sir.
you.
Thank you.
Moving on.
27.
27 is to receive for the record a discretionary fund budget amendment for the Sheriff's DOT Federal Forfeiture Fund 372. And Chief, good morning. What have we got here?
Tell us all
Morning,
about it.
Chief.
Morning.
Has nothing to do with COs. Well, you're on the CO list at the top.
I am. This is an annual reoccurring cost that we have for software that we use for some forensic investigation purposes with electronics, and the sheriff's paying for it out of his DOT fund.
Easy
Move to
enough.
approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Thank you, Chief. Item 28, consider approval of the following detention and residential contracts for the Victoria Regional Juvenile Justice Center. And I think I'm missing some of these, but
You want me to read?
They are A, Bandera County, B, Smith County, C, Deaf Smith County, D, Brazoria County, E, the 36th Judicial District, F, Kaufman County, G, Rockwell County, and H, Williamson County.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Twice.
Twice. All those in favor of
Just
approval?
flip a coin.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion approved. Item 29 is to consider approval of 2025 budget amendments and take appropriate action. A, General Fund various departments expenditures. B, Capital Projects Fund expenditures. C, General Fund Sheriff's Office expenditures.
Move to approve A through C.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Each need a signature on each of those. Let's see here. Our next item is a closed session. However, we will take about a 5-minute recess before we come back and go into closed session for the items listed here. So let's stand in recess for about 5 minutes. Yeah, we'll give him time to come back in.
Take care.
All right, we are coming back from recess at 11:11 a.m. and we'll go to agenda item number 30, which is a closed meeting to discuss personnel in various departments, real property, economic development, boards and commissions, and a private consultation with the county's attorney via phone if needed. And we will go into closed session now for those purposes at 11:11 a.m. We are coming out of closed session at 11:59 a.m. Agenda item 31 is to return to open meeting and take any action deemed necessary. There is no action that needs to be taken at this time, and we will stand adjourned at 11:59 a.m.